Titoki's fame wasn't built overnight, it was engineered. From polished smiles to perfectly timed scandals, every move he made was a performance. But when the cameras stopped rolling and the truth began to surface, the world discovered that the man with 55 million fans had been living a double life. What started as a dream of global stardom spiraled into one of the most shocking downfalls in internet history. Titoki's story isn't just about lies, fame, or guilt, it's about how one influencer fooled the entire world while convincing even himself that he was still innocent. Titoki's story began in a small coastal town in Bizan, where he lived a quiet life before fame found him. He started uploading short lifestyle clips to a growing video platform, showing his daily routines, minimalist fashion, and calm personality. People were drawn to his peaceful aesthetic and smooth storytelling style. In a world filled with noise, Titoki's content felt like a breath of calm air. Within a year, his subscriber count exploded. Global audiences admired his charm, and his channel crossed 55 million followers faster than anyone imagined. He became the face of luxury brands, appeared in international campaigns, and was praised for representing the new digital generation of South Korea. But behind his flawless image, Titoki's world was far from perfect. Former friends quietly mentioned how controlling he could be when cameras were off. He demanded perfection, rehearsing every gesture, every smile, every background detail in his videos. Nothing was spontaneous. He studied algorithms, engagement patterns, and audience psychology as if building an empire brick by brick. To fans, he was pure authenticity. To those who worked with him, he was an illusionist, sculpting a version of himself that didn't exist. As his fame rose, so did his arrogance. He began treating people around him like props in his story. Assistants were replaced often, editors rarely lasted more than a few months, and his inner circle became a rotation of people willing to follow his strict rules. He monitored their loyalty through private messages, making sure no one could betray him. Online, his team deleted any negative comments within seconds, ensuring his reputation remained untarnished. By the time he reached international stardom, rumors had already started circulating in online communities. A few users posted cryptic threads claiming that Titoki's kindness was just a fad. Some alleged that he used manipulation to silence those who questioned him. Yet, the majority of his fanbase dismissed it all as jealousy. Every accusation only made him more popular. Then, in the middle of his peak, a small independent blog released a story that would change everything. It claimed that a former collaborator had accused Titoki of serious misconduct during a private project. Within hours, the post went viral. News stations picked it up, hashtags erupted, and for the first time, the perfect world Titoki built began to crack. As the scandal spread across social media, Titoki's empire began to shake. News outlets aired clips of him smiling at brand events beside luxury cars, contrasting them with the allegations that now trailed his name. His fans were stunned. Millions of followers flooded his comment sections with questions demanding answers. Within 24 hours, Titoki broke his silence. He uploaded a video titled "The Truth," filmed in soft lighting with emotional music, where he calmly denied everything. He spoke of betrayal, jealousy, and lies from people who wanted to destroy him. His tone was steady, almost controlled. The video reached over 60 million views in days, and for a moment, it looked like he had turned the tide in his favor. But investigators were already deep into his life. Police had collected devices, digital records, and online conversations that painted a different picture. The public didn't know yet, but they soon would. Hidden chat logs revealed manipulation tactics he allegedly used on collaborators. Voice recordings surfaced on anonymous forums, claiming to show his attempts to silence people. Even with this, many fans refused to believe it. They created hashtags defending him, calling the evidence fabricated. The internet became a war zone of opinions, each side convinced they knew the truth. Behind the scenes, Titoki's management company panicked. Sponsors pulled their deals quietly, waiting to see how far the storm would go. His team deleted old content, cleaned up his image, and tried to control the narrative. Yet, every cleanup effort only fueled suspicion. Independent journalists dug deeper, uncovering inconsistencies in his timeline. Even some of his former collaborators started sharing cryptic posts that seemed to hint at hidden truths. One night, a major broadcaster aired a leaked report containing parts of the investigation. The footage showed investigators entering his luxury apartment and seizing several encrypted drives. The images dominated headlines the next morning, and suddenly, his calm innocence looked like strategy. Still, Titoki maintained his composure in public. Every time he was spotted, he smiled for cameras as though nothing was wrong. But those who once knew him closely noticed something new in his eyes: fear. For the first time, his confidence appeared rehearsed. The cracks in his carefully built world were spreading, and even he couldn't stop what was coming next. The trial drew international attention, with reporters from around the world crowding outside the Seoul courthouse. Each hearing became a media event. Fans gathered with signs, streaming live, while critics waited for justice. Titoki arrived each day dressed immaculately, waving and smiling as if attending a film premiere rather than a court proceeding. His calm composure unsettled many, especially those who had seen the evidence stacking against him. Inside, prosecutors presented digital communications, hidden audio files, and detailed witness testimonies that revealed a pattern of manipulation and control. The charm that once captivated millions now appeared as a mask for something much darker. When the verdict was announced, the courtroom fell silent. The judge declared him guilty of multiple charges involving deceit, coercion, and evidence tampering. Gasps rippled through the crowd as reporters rushed to break the story first. Outside, chaos erupted. Some fans cried, others shouted that it was a setup. Online, the reaction was explosive. Hashtags accusing the justice system of corruption flooded social platforms. At the same time, investigative journalists celebrated what they saw as proof that fame no longer guaranteed protection. Hours later, Titoki's channel uploaded a pre-recorded video that stunned everyone. It featured him sitting in a minimalist white room, speaking directly to the camera. He claimed he had been framed, that the system wanted to destroy a successful young creator. The video was edited with cinematic precision, slow background music, flawless lighting, and emotional pacing. His tone was soft, almost pleading. Millions watched, and many were swayed. He told his audience to keep believing in him, saying that truth would come out soon. Almost immediately, a wave of sympathy posts began circulating. Influencers, celebrities, and fan accounts called him a victim of jealousy. Yet, quietly, others began to notice strange details: how the video seemed recorded weeks earlier, and how the production quality was far higher than any video made under restriction. It suggested planning, as though Titoki had anticipated the guilty verdict long before it came. In private chat groups, anonymous users claimed to have found clues of coordinated misinformation campaigns linked to his team. Bots flooded comment sections with supportive messages. The illusion of innocence continued even after conviction, and the world began to wonder if Titoki's greatest performance was not his content but his ability to control the truth itself. As weeks passed after the verdict, the world discovered that Titoki's downfall was far from complete. Despite being officially convicted, his influence continued to pulse through the internet like a heartbeat that refused to die. Fans shared old clips, edited montages, and emotional compilations of his best moments, keeping his image alive. Some fan groups even raised money for his legal appeal fund, although authorities later revealed that none of the money reached legitimate legal channels. Behind the scenes, investigators began uncovering how deep his manipulation truly went. They found digital footprints connecting Titoki to a hidden web of accounts used to spread false narratives and attack critics. Even from detention, mysterious posts appeared on his official pages. Each one portrayed him as a misunderstood artist crushed by corruption. These uploads were traced to overseas servers, suggesting someone close to him was helping. Meanwhile, former employees began speaking publicly, revealing that Titoki had a secret communications team tasked with monitoring online conversations and shaping them to his advantage. Every trending hashtag, every viral defense of him, had been carefully planned. What once looked like organic fan loyalty now appeared as the product of psychological precision. The turning point came when a major news outlet released security footage showing Titoki instructing staff to create fake fan messages before his trial. The video spread rapidly, shocking even his most devoted followers. In it, he could be seen approving scripts for emotional testimonies that later appeared on fan forums. For the first time, the world saw undeniable proof of his deception. Still, a small portion of his audience refused to believe it, claiming the footage was digitally altered. They accused the media of launching a coordinated campaign to destroy their idol. Brands that once proudly collaborated with him erased all traces of their partnerships. Streaming platforms began removing his content, though copies quickly resurfaced elsewhere, shared by loyal supporters. The cycle of exposure and denial became endless. Comment sections filled with arguments between believers and skeptics, each side desperate to claim the truth. And through it all, Titoki remained silent, his face absent, but his influence everywhere. The more people tried to erase him, the more his presence seemed to grow, as if controversy had become his final masterpiece. Months later, just when the public had begun to move on, Titoki's name returned to the headlines. His main channel, dormant for nearly half a year, suddenly uploaded a new video. The thumbnail showed his familiar face, and the title read, "The Proof They Tried to Hide." Within minutes, millions clicked. The video opened with soft music and a message claiming he had found new evidence to clear his name. It appeared to be narrated by a friend, but the voice, though disguised, carried his tone and rhythm. Investigators confirmed soon after that the upload came from a secure proxy operated inside the detention center. Once again, Titoki had managed to manipulate the digital world from behind bars. The so-called evidence he presented was a series of screenshots, documents, and supposed messages that painted him as a victim of corporate conspiracy. At first glance, the materials looked convincing, but cybersecurity experts quickly proved they were fabricated. Metadata showed the files were created weeks after his conviction. The revelation was devastating to his already fragile fanbase. Those who still supported him felt betrayed, realizing their idol had continued to lie even after being exposed. The narrative of Innocence collapsed completely. Soon, platforms began permanently shutting down his verified pages, removing videos that had once attracted billions of views. Sponsors demanded compensation for financial losses, and the entertainment agencies connected to him faced legal scrutiny. But even as his empire crumbled, the ghost of his fame refused to vanish. Archival channels continued reposting his old content, gaining millions of views daily. The money from those reuploads flowed into a single account overseas, one that investigators later discovered was still registered under Titoki's legal name. Somehow, even in confinement, he continued to earn from the same followers who once worshipped him. Years later, his name became a cautionary tale in media schools and digital ethics courses. People debated whether he had been a mastermind or simply a reflection of the online culture that built him. His story revealed how easily fame could twist reality, how audiences could be blinded by the person they wanted to believe in. Titoki's legacy wasn't just about guilt or innocence, it was about the dangerous power of perception, and how one man turned lies into an empire that even truth couldn't completely destroy.